In today's video, let's review how the stock market will react after the midterm elections. So the midterm elections are going to take place on November 8th. In the House of Representatives, there are 435 seats, and they're all going to be up for grabs. In the Senate, there are 100 seats, of which 35 will be up for re-election. Of those 35 seats, 21 are Republican seats and 14 are Democratic seats. The Democrats currently control the House of Representatives with a 9-seat majority, 222 to 213. So if you think about it, it's not a big majority considering that there's 435 seats in the House. In the Senate, there are 100 seats, and it's split 50-50 between the Republicans and Democrats. The vice president is the tiebreaker, so currently the Senate is controlled by the Democrats. Now, let me tell you what usually happens during the midterms. Historically speaking, the president's party performs badly. So take a look at this. This is every midterm election since the 1930s. The president's party usually loses seats in the House of Representatives, and you could take a look for yourself. Let's take a look at recent history. George W. lost 30 seats in the House. Obama lost 63 seats during his first term, and then he lost 13 seats in his second term. Trump lost 40 seats. It's the same story in the Senate. Of course, you have to remember there are only 100 seats in the Senate, so the numbers are going to be smaller compared to the House. Bush lost 6 seats. Barack lost 6 seats and then 9 seats. Trump, he beat the odds, he pulled it off with a net gain of +2 in 2018. Now, political scientists don't fully understand why this happens, why the president's party tends to lose seats in Congress during the midterm elections. One theory is that politicians tend to overpromise and underdeliver upon assuming office. Anyways, it's a question that's been asked for decades, and we still don't fully understand why this happens, but it happens. Let me show you what the current predictions are. Analysts are saying the Republicans have an 82% chance of taking control of the House of Representatives. The Senate is going to be a tight race. Predictions are a 52% chance that Democrats retain control of the Senate, which means that the Republicans have a 48% shot. Now, let me tell you the relationship between the midterm elections and the stock markets. If you look out 12 months after the midterm elections, the stock market averages a gain of 18.6%, which is pretty awesome. Compare that to all other years where the stock market averages a gain of 10.6% in the same time frame. So there's a clear statistical difference. Therefore, historically speaking, the 12 months after the midterm elections are generally really good for the stock markets. But why is that? The theory is, so there's a lot of theories today. The theory is that the president's party tends to lose in Congress, and that causes gridlock in DC. So let's say that the Republicans win the House and the Democrats retain control of the Senate. In that type of scenario, you know that Congress is not going to pass any major bills because it's unlikely that a Republican House and a Democratic Senate will cooperate with one another. So just think about it. This type of setup would lower the probability of any radical changes happening within the US. This creates an environment of stability. With less uncertainty, it boosts investor sentiment. Therefore, when it comes to the stock market, a divided Congress is actually a good thing. A divided Congress is the expected outcome. Even if the Republicans win both the House and the Senate, they would get pushback from the White House. Now, there are a lot of questions. Will history repeat? Will the midterm elections be a positive catalyst for the stock markets? So the stock market has been falling this year. Is this a good buying opportunity, or is this a trap? So let me know your opinion in the comments down below. Some people are making the argument that the stock market will continue to fall. They're saying the historical trend does show that the midterms will be helpful to the stock market, but it may not be enough. That's because the variables are different this midterm election. So we're in a recession, or we're entering a recession. Inflation is at a 40-year high, and we're going through a monetary tightening cycle. I want to read you off 2 opinions that summarize that side of the argument. Seema Shah, the chief global strategist at Principal Asset Management, said, "It is inflation, the Federal Reserve's response to inflation, and the resulting risk of recession that will determine the market's direction over the coming quarters. So Greg Bassick, CEO of Axe Investments, said, the midterm elections are not as relevant today on the stock markets. He said, we think the market driver over the next few weeks is related to the shocks around the Federal Reserve and interest rates and recession, all wrapped together, much more so than trends relating to where we are in the election cycle. Okay, with that being said, I want to point this out. You have to remember that the stats that I showed you about the stock market gains, those are going from November to October. So history might repeat where the stock market ends up higher 12 months from now, if we're talking about October of 2023. So it's possible that within the next 12 months, the stock market crashes and then the Federal Reserve does their pivot and then the stock market shoots back up. So we may see extreme volatility over the next 12 months where both scenarios actually play out. It would basically be a repeat of what happened in 2020. That's when the stock market crashed and then it skyrocketed back up to finish the year up 18%. So we may be in for another wild ride. I just want you to know that we're going to have so much information coming in over the next few days from the Federal Reserve. So please be sure to subscribe. I'll keep you updated. I'll save you the time. Thank you for the support and I wish you a very nice day. Please take care.